One more season of Thala. Yes, you heard it right. It's the Chennai Super Kings we're going to discuss about. The men in yellow are taking the field after not a really good season last time around. I have Ritvik with me. Ritvik, welcome to the show. New captain and expecting a little bit of ups and downs in the season of the Chennai Super Kings, which we are not used to see. But some of Ruturaj Gaikwad's captaincy and the way Ruturaj Gaikwad led the side last season.
See, whenever we talk about Chennai Super Kings, we have to remember that this is one of the franchise teams of the IPL, right? Out of the 18 seasons, you have to remember that they were suspended for two. From the other 16, they qualified for the playoffs 12 times, which is the highest for any team. They won it 5 times, they were runners up 5 times. So that tells you about the pedigree and the quality that franchise has and the fan
Yeah,
base that they've built around it.
correct.
When you then have somebody coming in and stepping into the shoes of somebody like an MS Dhoni, those are huge shoes to fill.
Yeah.
To be fair, though Chennai had a really poor season, I think personally, I feel Ruturaj held his ground well,
Okay.
managed his resources to the best of his abilities that he could, and it was a complete new learning curve for him, right?
Yep.
And it was expected that he might not be able to deliver the way the fans would have wanted. But I
That
think
is true.
he
Yep.
put up a brave front. He led from the front. He, of course, sought help when was needed from seniors like MSD, of course, and Jadeja and the like. And I feel this first season as captain for him has been
Mm.
a very, very good learning session for him moving into the next season. Because if you keep in mind, and we will be discussing players that are still in, players that have been retained, players that have been left out, and so on,
Yep.
he will have a lot more in terms of his say in the team, a
Yep.
lot more in terms of what he wants in terms of from a team or off a team and then from
Yep.
that team. So I
Yep.
think the next season is going to be a very, very interesting one for me, especially from Ruturaj's point of view as captain.
Absolutely, he has been known as he has been confirmed rather as the captain of the Chennai Super Kings, and hopefully we see him leading the side once again after not having his best season. Came last in the points table last season around, but we are not used to see Chennai Super Kings there. But as you said, 12 times already played the finals. It's huge, more than any other franchisee. But thoughts about the players they have released? They Chennai are somebody that do not tend to make many changes when they are playing during the season. It's been a formula led by Mahendra Singh Dhoni. He always sticks to a particular 11. Similarly, your thoughts on the released players as you can see it on your screen. You have Andre Siddharth has been released, Deepak Huda, Devon Conway, Rachin Ravindra, Matisha Patirana, Kamlesh Nagarkoti, Rahul Tripathi, Sheikh Rashid, Vansh Bedi, Vijay Shankar, and two huge names that have been released. Ravindra Jadeja and Sam Curran have been traded. In return, you've gone Sanju Samson. How about that? And I certainly feel that's a win-win for the Rajasthan Royals rather than the Chennai Super Kings. Your thoughts, please.
I think it's a win-win for both, to be honest. But before I
Both.
come to
Okay.
Sanju Samson and the Sam Curran Jadeja trade-off, let me go back to what you were talking about in terms of how Chennai Super Kings have played their game, so to speak, over the years. Yes, they don't chop and change much. They stick to a set formula, a set group of players. But off late, 21 they won, 22 they didn't, 23 they won, 24 and 25 have been horrible seasons. I think there's a shift in the mindset, a sort of changing of the guard, so to speak, a new captain, a new way of looking at
Yep.
things, and that realization that you don't need to continuously stick to the old format. And
Correct.
hence this massive flux of players that have been released and the interesting choices they've made in terms of the retained players that they've had. Now,
True.
to come to the point of Sam Curran and Jadeja being traded off to Rajasthan for Sanju Samson, I think for Rajasthan, yes, it's a great trade-off to have somebody like a like a Jadeja in their
Two
squad will
match
be
winning all rounders they've got. I'll be very
absolutely
honest with you.
and genuine match winners and all rounders on their day. The interesting part for me is there's been a lot of talk, and we've spoken about this on your show before as well, about when is MS Dhoni going to retire. The last 2 seasons, all
Correct.
we've been hearing, the noise around CSK has been less about the game, has been less about their cricket, and more about Thala retiring, right?
Thala retiring and Danny Morrison coming and asking me during the toss.
Correct. So the fact that they've got Sanju Samson in is a very, very clear indication of the way they are moving. Because
For the
this is
future.
your call on saying, hang on, guys, we are getting a top of the order batter as well as a very, very good wicket keeper, which then answers the question about MS Dhoni's playing future in CSK in the long run. Maybe a
And that's what I
season
ask
more.
you. That's what I ask you. He's somebody that doesn't announce anything, and out of the box, when you don't expect anything, a news comes up. I'm asking you, is he playing IPL 2026?
The reports, and the reports are varied, as we know, which as it happens in media. I honestly believe that he will probably play, if not the entire season, at least for a part of it.
Half.
At
Absolutely. I
least
agree
for a
with you.
part of it, groom the likes of Sanju Samson into the. Sanju Samson is a
Absolutely.
seasoned player in the IPL anyway, but to groom him into the CSK mold, into that wicket keeping role mold with CSK, with a new franchise, and then, like MS Dhoni is known for, make a sudden, non-dramatic exit is something which could well be on the cards.
100%. And I absolutely agree with the fact that play half the season, groom the players, and then leave it up to Ruturaj Gaikwad or somebody else if he's the captain. Sanju Samson, very well known as one of the pillars and almost new into the local lad as well. He will quickly get into the chip out flavor. But if you talk about the targets the Chennai Super Kings can make, first of all, the budget they have 43.4 CR. I think that's the second best after the Kolkata Knight Riders. So Chennai will very well be into the auction table and busy in the auction table, just like KKR will be. But your
Mm.
thoughts with the way the CSK, rather Chepauk's surface has been changed now to a batting friendly one since the past couple of years. Earlier 130, 140, and then you had an Ashwin, Jadeja, and Murli Dharans, and used to come in when in yellow and turn the game on its head. Nowadays, you do not even have a Ravindra Jadeja, you do not even have a Ravichandran Ashwin, no spinner as such. They do not have a Tikshana as well. They left it around. Your thoughts? What can they do? What would you do if you are into the shoes of the Chennai Super Kings? If you are
So,
you going towards a batter? Are you going towards an opener? Are you going towards an all rounder? Which is your prime focus?
so again, two ways to answer this question. I'll start with the first part of it first. Chennai being batting friendly has more or less been the key for X number of seasons. Now, in the last few, it's been stark, more so because they haven't had those set of quality spinners that they had in the past.
And
Because the
also
spinners used to come on and
has
put a
Dew
serious
played a
break.
huge part?
Absolutely. They used to come and play a serious part in the demolition of the opposition. Now, going back to if I were in the shoes of trying to beef up the team, beef up the squad, what am I looking at? The first and foremost that I need to look at is a proper seasoned all rounder. Because
Correct.
Jadeja has been the linchpin of that middle order, gives a serious number of runs at a very, very good strike rate, comes in and bowls his 4 overs, bowls them at serious speed as well in terms of time, and is a gun fielder in any format of the game. So those are serious shoes to fill in terms of an all rounder. So the
Absolutely. And
first
with the
focus
way
ideally
with
needs to be to get an all rounder.
absolutely, and with four overseas, they have up their sleeves moving into the auction table. Worst possible news if you're a Chennai Super Kings fan you had in the last couple of weeks. No Andre Russell, no Glenn Maxwell. Seriously, they could have been one of the targets.
To be fair, both Glenn Maxwell and Andrew Russell, yes, they have made their names in the franchise leagues for sure, in addition to their exploits on the international scenario. But if you look at them and their performances over the last few years,
Yeah.
they've not really been up to par,
But
right? The
as it's
odd.
Russell and as it's Maxwell, with the experience they have, I think that would have been a big fit into this 11 or into this squad, replacing somebody like Sam Curran or a Jadeja.
See, if you were to look at a Jadeja replacement between a Russell and a Glenn Maxwell, then probably Glenn Maxwell gives you that little bit more, right? Because medium paces are dime a dozen in the Indian circuit. So if you
Correct.
want to go for somebody who's an off spinner, who's a very, very good fielder again, like Jadeja, and who's a maverick with the bat,
Yep.
he can hit the worst possible ball for a six.
True.
He can get out to the
Get
worst
out.
possible ball as well,
Absolutely.
right? So he is capable of going swinging from one end of the spectrum to the other. So Glenn Maxwell would probably have been the only one in my mind who they could have sort of gone after. The
True
fact
that.
that they've also left the likes of Conway and Rachin Ravindra,
Exactly. That's
who
surprising.
were seriously being counted and touted as a really strong opening pair right at the top of the order. Ruturaj is most probably going to be at three. Sanju Samson, now that he's in the team, he's going to open. But do you have a reliable opener to come along with it? Yes,
You
Ayush
had a
Matre played
youngster.
really, really well.
Absolutely. You had a youngster who
So
played really well,
Ayush
but do
Matre
you need
played
an
really well in
experience?
this last season, so he could then fill in that other opening slot with Sanju Samson, which is fine. Then your opening slot gets sorted, but you still have that middle order to look after in terms of the all rounder. And a couple of additional bowling options, I think, would be really, really needed because
And that's
you
where I
have the
come to
likes
you.
of what? You
You
have
very
Khalil Ahmed.
interestingly said you said about Khalil Ahmed just now, but if you talk about the bowling, they have left Patirana, who made his name in the IPL circuit for the Chennai Super Kings. Has he been a man not for Yorkers rather than five wides because he has been way too wayward recently when it bowling in death overs? But can you get him in cheaper budget if you're thinking of the major auction
But
which you
that's
bought him for 10 plus? Can you think of getting him in a 4 or 5 range? Is that the reason why he has been left, or is it Nathan Ellis is now the future because he's also a top class death bowler?
yeah, Nathan Ellis is a very, very decent bowler, no doubt. They have Jamie Overton, who's fairly decent in the shorter format as well. But when you have somebody like Pathirana, maybe one of the strategic elements could be to let him go and then try and buy him cheaper. Because
Correct.
yes, there might be wides and all, but every other bowler can go for multiple wides in a match.
Correct.
That's not the point. But what Pathirana has done is with his slingy action and at the top of the order when he comes on and he bowls, he has been able to make a point of difference within that team. So I
Correct.
wouldn't be surprised if they play that tactical card and try and buy him back cheaper or sort of hedge him on and then get him back just before somebody else buys him
And
off.
I will not be surprised if they get either of the QBs, which they have left once again in a cheaper budget. But
Mm.
the big name, the hot topic name so far in the IPL mini auction has been an Australian, an all rounder in the name of Cameron Green. And with the budget Kolkata Knight Riders and Chennai Super Kings have, we generally think that it's going to be either of these two teams. Both the teams need a bowling all rounder because KKR have left Andre Russell, so they need his backup. CSK would have targeted Andre Russell, now they don't have. They don't have a Jadeja too. Where is Camden Green heading towards?
Chances are, given the sort of money that he can fetch, he would probably be more of a pick for KKR, financially speaking. But Chennai being Chennai, and the fact that they have that franchise name, the way they've built it over the last
Uh-huh.
18 years, I wouldn't be surprised if Cameron Green himself would want to go to Chennai, ideally, right? To
Okay,
go and to
that
play
is
under
interesting.
to play
But
with
but but
MS.
but if you're Cameron Green, you will not look into the money because even if you surpass 2021, 22, maximum you can get is 18 as per the IPL rules this season
Yeah.
around. But if you talk about if you don't get a Cameron Green for CSK, is it a Liam Livingston? Are you trusting an English player?
Well, Liam Livingston for me over the years has also been the English version of a Glenn Maxwell.
True.
He can play really, really well in one match. He's been playing really well of late in the T20 franchises here in the UAE. But again, he's a hit and miss. So these are sort of chances that you have to take.
Mhm.
Now, the ideal way to look into this is you first build the core team
Correct.
and then look at these as the add-ons. With subscriptions mein jaise hote hai na, you get
Correct.
your main
Absolutely.
package and then you
Add-ons.
look at add-ons to boost it up. So it's pretty much that way. So if you can get these as add-ons at a lesser price when nobody else is really interested and you suddenly go and quickly pick up somebody like Livingston, fair enough. But I don't think it's somebody that they'll necessarily go after.
Okay. Liam Livingston, somebody they will not necessarily go after as per your thoughts, but youngsters have been a huge talking point for CSK lately. Earlier, we used to think that okay, retired players mean CSK, but one of the domestic players in terms of bowlers, if you look into, has been a huge spark, and one of the names is Akib Navi. Your thoughts? Is Akib Navi one of the franchises CSK might target? Is he there, or for the likes of SRH or Delhi Capitals or KKR? Where is he?
Could be an
Best
option.
suited according to
Could
the
be an option
conditions.
for quite a few of the franchises. And again, keeping in mind that CSK has been, to be fair, the sort of grooming ground for players as well in the IPL. So when we look at the English Premier League, for example, we talk about the likes
Yes.
of Chelsea and Liverpool as
Yep.
teams who groom players, and those players get big within that, and then they get sold off for really good money.
Correct.
CSK on the cricket circuit for IPL has been the sort of grooming ground for players, right? They really get the best out of them. They groom them, they prepare them, and then in about 3, 4, 5 years, they at times very smartly sell them off for a huge amount of money as well, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if somebody like a Nabi is targeted by CSK. and then given a certain number of matches, especially towards the middle phase, if they've got off to a good start, for example, in the season, they're
Mhm.
comfortable after the first 3 or 4 matches, get him to play in a couple of games, see how he fares, and
Yeah.
then take on from there.
Fair enough. And what about the predicted playing 11? As of now, what CSK looks like with the minimum retained players they've gone and the heavy budget of 43.4 CR. Ritvik, here it is on your screen. I've gone for Sanju Samson as a batter as of now as my opener. Alongside him, I'm given a gap. I think I'm expecting a new player coming in from the auction. Otherwise, you have an Ayush Matre. Ruturaj
I
Gaikwad continues to bat at number 3. At number 4, there's a gap. Deval Brevis at 5. Shivam Dubey 6. Mahendra Singh Dhoni 7 with the wicketkeeper tagline. Number 8, who is your Jadeja? That is a gap out there. Khalil Ahmed, Nathan Ellis are my two bowlers. Number 11, there is a gap. I'm expecting a spinner. Though I know there is a Noor Ahmed in this side. Can they get an Indian spinner? That's my thought. Your thoughts?
So for me, I think the way Noor Ahmed has performed for them, the way Noor Ahmed has been performing across franchises as well, I think he's pretty sorted to be in that team.
Okay.
I don't see
Which
another
means he's in
Indian
number
spinner.
11.
Beg your pardon?
He's your number 11 then.
He's my number 11 then, yes. Now,
Okay.
going back to the top of the order, I think Ayush Matre has done enough in the first season, given the limited opportunities he had, to take on that role with Sanju Samson
Yep.
and move that forward. So I think I'm happy with Matre being there at the top of the order. And then
Okay.
you, like you mentioned, you have Ruturaj at number 3. You
Which
have
means Noor is there, Brevis is there, and Ellis, if he plays, is there. You still have one more overseas. And I certainly feel it's going to be the number 4 or number 5 slot, where I think you're going to go for either of a Liam Livingston or get back a Rachin Ravindra or a hard
mm,
hitting muscle. Who is it?
but if you get a Cameroon Green, then I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind putting Green up the order
Up the order,
because
open it.
no, not up the order open, around a 4 or a 5. I'm not saying up the
Correct.
order as in. So
Correct. But Green
if
has.
you have a if you have a Green coming in at 4, it tilts the balance so much in the favor of the batting unit because he's going to come and bowl his overs anyway. But
True,
it gives a
true.
huge lift and that firepower in that 4-5-5 number
And you
and
have
the
a
four
Green
five
at
spot.
4, Brevis at 5, Dubey at 6. I think that's
You're sorted.
disruptive enough.
Your middle
Absolutely.
order
And
is
your
sorted.
thoughts? Absolutely. They're sorted. If they make good budgeting and good planning moving into the auction table, your thoughts as per the retention squad you see for CSK ahead of the auction table, your rating out of 10?
I would say they're a decent 7.5 in terms of their
Okay.
retention. I would have loved either of Jadeja or Sam Curran to still have been there, to be fair.
Yeah,
That would have
me too.
given them that extra push,
I
I
think
feel.
I think
And
this
then,
number 4 would have suited Sam Curran.
yes, yes, it would have suited Sam Curran really well. He does that very, very often in the 100 as well and in the
Correct.
NatWest. And he's a seasoned pro at that number. So I was a bit surprised. I wasn't that surprised when Jadeja was leaving as much as I was with Sam Curran being let go, to be fair.
Correct.
And but well, it is what it is, and that trade has happened, and we are not changing that.
We have to
But
see
yes,
that. Only time will tell
I would
because we
love
are
a
not to
Cameron Green at
see.
4.
Absolutely. You will love Cameron Green at 4. But you have said on the other hand, if you look into the budget and the financial standpoint, KKR is looking likely to go for Cameron Green. I'm so sorry. Cameron Green is likely to go for the Kolkata Knight Riders. Or maybe it wouldn't surprise you, as is the Chennai Super Kings, the big name. He might be into the Chennai Super Kings wish list as well as in the squad. So fair
Yeah.
enough. Thank you so much, Ritvik. He says Chennai Super Kings gets a 7 out of 10 rating because of the way they have planned around. The trade has been the huge highlight into this auction table as well. That's all we have. IPL retention 2026 Chennai Super Kings. How far can they go? Can Thala get some ideas into the management as well? And can they get some star players into this side? That's all we have when it comes to the Yellow Army. We are building India's smartest cricket community. Subscribe to become a part of it.